And, we're always trying to think of something new to talk about, and then we come all of a sudden.
No, we don't.
And then we come all of a sudden.
No.
Yeah, we do.
No. It's not
at least I try. At least I try sometimes to think of something.
You put in a valiant effort?
Sometimes. And I come here and I'm like, I don't know, well, and then all of a sudden, and then boom, it's crazy. You know what? Just cue the intro. Hello guys, Two Lion Brothers Podcast, also known as T.L.B.P. I'm Victor.
And I'm Adrian.
I'm back at it again with another not vlog. Cause, yeah.
You gotta stop. You can't intro every episode like
it will happen. It's inevitable.
Look, I think that people who listen to us on a week-to-week basis
are just expecting it.
Are expecting us to drop a vlog now.
Just one day, randomly, we're gonna be like, to the link in bio, first vlog.
Here we go.
And everyone's gonna love it. Cause it'll just be me staring into the camera.
Super awkward.
Super awkwardly. And that'll just be my whole day. And I'll just condense it to 5 minutes. And it'll just be me staring into the lens for 5 minutes.
You know what you should do?
What?
It'll just be you, like, going on your...
No, how to fall in love with me, stare into my eyes.
No, it'll just be, like, clips of you every time, like, you had to go... So I have to go somewhere, and you just, like... Just clips of you walking around.
Yeah, just, like, literally, like, do what, like, Casey Neistat does, where he, like, puts the camera and then walks.
Yeah.
And it'll just be, like, continuous, though.
Clips of you walking away.
And the scenery will just change, but it'll just keep being me walking.
Walking away.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that happening.
Sounds like something I'd do.
Put some good B-roll music in the background. Add that summertime filter on it.
No, I'm gonna add some opera style. You really suffer through it. And not even good opera, just like some like weirdo who just like decided to upload like opera, and I just stripped the audio and shove it in there.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
What was I gonna say?
I don't know.
There's something I was gonna say yesterday. I think yesterday Sony announced a Kraven movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Like the Hunter?
Yeah. But wait. Here's where it gets funny. They cast the guy who played Quicksilver in Avengers: Age of Ultron as Kraven the Hunter. Wait for it. Now it's meta. I feel like they just keep making, like, they've made that he died a joke with WandaVision. And then they used the guy from Fox. And then now they're, like, using him in another movie. But because what they're doing is they're putting all of Sony's movies, like, in another universe. And then Spider-Man will be the only one who can jump back and forth between them.
Yeah.
But they'll reference stuff. So because of that, they're like, we can do this. It's okay. No one will question.
Oh my gosh. I don't know how I feel about
it's
that.
It's like, how meta can we get?
Pretty meta, actually. Apparently.
I mean,
I don't know how I feel about that.
You don't know how you feel?
I don't know how I feel about that.
They also, like, officially announced the guy who's playing Moon Knight. Like, there was lots of speculation on it. And you know the guy who plays the fighter jet pilot in the Star Wars the new trilogy? Can't remember his actual name right now. I think it's Oscar or Isaac or no
something
Oscar,
along the lines.
Oscar something. I can't remember his name, but anyway, he's been cast as Moon Knight, which I think will be interesting.
All right.
I mean, it already is a pretty interesting role to begin with because he's kind of crazy, but not really.
He's like, I think he needs to see somebody.
I mean, as a character.
I mean, like, he's talking to the moon, so.
He believes in the moon god.
I don't know how I feel about that.
I mean, I guess I'll find out. See how it goes.
I mean, basically, gods and goddesses already exist in that world, so I guess he's not that crazy.
Well, what is it? Well, one of the things that apparently, what is it in Thor 4?
Thor 4?
Yeah, they're supposed to introduce Zeus.
Really?
Yeah, like the back door to Hercules, because Hercules
is
later
also
an Avenger, which is kind of funny if you really think about it. But
okay, no, just joking. That'd be interesting.
Hercules is an Avenger.
I know.
He was, and like there was a comic book run where he was an Avenger.
But that'd be so interesting. Imagine like Thor just shows up and then like Zeus shows up.
Yeah.
It'd be like, damn.
Well, like when Hulk was when Hercules was an Avenger, like Hank Pym was the one running the show.
Yeah.
And then Janet had died, so she was a robot. Like her consciousness was uploaded to a robot, and Wonder Man was there, and then Tigra was there, and then of course Hercules was there. Right? It's like all of these other characters, like half of like actually that entire roster of Avengers technically doesn't
exist. Yeah.
I mean, a robotic Janet Van Dyne, for example, she's really old right now. Same thing with Hank Pym, also old. So like you can't have that roster where it's like that line of which I think is interesting because like there's only so much you can do because of like,
the way things have been done.
Yeah, but also like the way that also like Kevin Feige announced that Loki would be the only way to reintroduce an alternate version of Tony Stark because of the Loki show that's coming out.
Oh yeah,
where he's going into different timelines.
That'd be so
and different.
Imagine you just see Robert Downey Jr. just randomly in like the last episode. It's like, what's going on? And then just cut, just roll the credits. That's how they end the show, and you're just like, oh my god.
I can't believe.
I think I just spoiled it for them.
Yeah, I doubt it. I doubt it. I highly doubt that.
I really doubt that's gonna happen.
Well, also, like, what is it? It's like how they had to like push back the Hawkeye show because the new Black Widow that they're introducing in the new movie is apparently she's gonna cameo in it. So like they had to shuffle everything because of that. They're like, okay, we can't release this on time. We can't release this on time. That's why every show got like pushed. And then they're like, we have to release Black Widow, otherwise we can't release this.
Yeah.
So if we don't release this first and this doesn't work, and it's like, excuse me, having to shuffle everything down. And it's just been so interesting to see. And the same thing happened with like, also with like the Sony movies, because now Sony and Marvel are partnering up to make those movies. So like apparently the Morbius movie got pushed as well to like next year, January.
Stop hurting me.
I'm just telling you how it is, man.
I wish they could just like be like, okay, we're making the executive decision, we're releasing all the movies consecutively.
Imagine like they just drop like 4 movies in one day.
Oh my gosh.
On like Disney Plus.
I think they break Disney Plus. To be honest.
Oh, what is it? And the CW also apparently signed a deal to move all the Arrowverse shows onto Amazon Prime.
I don't know how I feel about that. Damn.
It just, like, there is so much fandom right now, like, stuff going on in the fandom right now. Oh, and apparently Flash is going to end at season 8.
Yeah. We were watching The Flash, and then we stopped watching them.
Oh, yeah, because it's kind of hard to explain, like, cause, for example, like, our sister and our mom, like, trying to explain timeline and like the multiverse,
they lose track of what's going on.
Yeah, they're like, okay, wait. So who's this? Like, especially with what is it with Dr. Wells? Like him, like like his Council of Wells too. Like getting to like moments like that where it's like.
It's just like, I thought there was just one.
Like,
how is there quadruplets right now?
How do I explain this? Like, there is, like, this is, like, we're in one universe, and then, like, there's, like, multiple, but, like, they're in the same spot.
Like, multiverse.
But, like, they're not actually in the same spot, like, and they vibrate at, like, a different frequency, so we can't see them. But, like, they're technically, that like, having to explain that to someone who doesn't know anything about physics is kind of challenging.
Yeah.
Also, like,
I mean, you don't have to like have like
no, of course,
understanding of physics.
But like the other thing too,
it's just a matter of keeping track.
Oh yeah, but also like having to explain like that. Of course, like it's science fiction.
Yeah.
So like it's not meant to.
It's just like this would never happen. It's just like
no,
that's the point.
It's science. Like having to explain every couple of minutes, it's science fiction.
Yeah.
Like also got a little like.
Also, who thought of that? It's always baffled me since a little kid. Who thought to call like things that aren't real fiction and things that are real non-fiction? It irritates me so much. It's one of like my biggest like.
It's like fake and real.
I know. Like, who decided this?
I don't know.
Like, I wanna find that person, slap him across the face.
He's probably not alive anymore.
I will go back in time.
You can't do that though. We're back in
I will make it non-fiction.
We are now in science fiction.
No, I will make it non-fiction.
It's like that famous question that everybody asks, like, if you could go back in time to a period of time, which time would you go to? Like, most people, like, oh, I don't want to go back to, like, the early 70s so I could go to, like, a concert that, like, somebody did, you know? Like, you know, like, I want to go see Michael Jackson perform live at wherever it was that he, like, apparently it was, like, the greatest concert ever, right? But...
You know where I'd go?
I feel you'd go back to, like, year 0.
No. I would make myself rich.
That's what you would do with time travel?
That's what I'd do with time travel.
No, that wasn't the question. The question was, what time period would you go back to? And quite honestly...
If I go back to a time period, I can do stuff in that time period.
I mean, I guess.
So I can make myself rich.
I mean, but you don't know...
I'd just go...
But you don't know the lineage you'd have to follow, because you have to go back in time, find the lineage, your lineage for starters, and for starters, we only know, like, 3 generations back. After that, it's kind of a mixed bag. Wait, let me finish. And then you'd have to make sure that family becomes rich and somehow you came to be. But because of all of the struggle that our families and the past 3 generations went through, is that you're even in this country. So if none of that struggling would have happened because they were rich, you wouldn't be here.
Listen. I'd go back and buy Bitcoin for this family.
But that's not that long ago. That's like 10 years.
Exactly. I'd just go back 10 years.
That's so dumb, though.
Well, at least we're rich now.
I mean,
you went so far back to like try and make us rich, and I'm like, it's so much easier to just go back 10 years.
You know, you could have done
what?
What you could have done
is kill Hitler.
No, I mean, everybody says that.
Exactly.
Apparently, his nieces and nephews,
are also crazy.
all his nephews. Apparently, they only had like males, and apparently they all agreed not to have children to end like
his lineage
there. So like none of those people are gonna have kids.
But what if one of them just falls in love?
Oh.
And then, like, you know, really, really, like,
I mean, apparently they're trying to kill off his lineage. They're like, this man is not deserved.
So if they're gonna marry somebody, they're gonna marry somebody who also wants to kill off the
this
lineage.
happened years ago. Like, I think they have some of them already passed away too.
Dang.
Like, because that's how long ago this happened. But like, which is interesting too, because if you think about it, like that lineage, like that's a heavy burden to carry.
Yeah.
It's like also like when you talk about people, like especially like when you talk to like people about it who like have family who live through it or like, you know, have some correlation to it. Like it's hard to like be like, yeah, you know, like
you don't know how to like
approach it,
level with it,
yeah,
and like continue in
well, like the thing is, it's been a long time now, and like it's still like one of those like if it's like one of those like things that like
you know happened, but you weren't there for it, but you know it was really important, in our history, and you're just like, I don't know how to interact with this kind of history now.
Well, like, it's one of those things, like, what is it? It's also like the guy our mother works for who he fought in the Second World War.
Yeah.
And, like, the stories he tells you are just, like, they're things that you're like, oh, he's telling me this, or he's telling me that.
Or, like, he tells you stuff that, like, no man should have ever gone through.
Yeah, like, you're like, why? Like, but the fact that, like, the other thing, too, is, like, a lot of those people are, like, really humbled by, like, you know, like, just, like, the thing. And also, like, the fact that, like, the way that they express, like, I went and fought for my country. Yeah. Like, the way that when they say that, it hits you in a way where you're like...
That has so much more deeper meaning than it's, like, some guy just went, like, I went to the Olympics for my country. Like, okay, yes.
That's great. You represent it.
Yeah. But, like, did your best friend die?
No, but
in combat?
No, but it's more like your life wasn't on the line.
Exactly.
Sort of thing,
I mean,
right?
There's some things.
I mean, I think it's questionable, but stuff. But you get what I mean. Like, it's one of those like crazy things where when they tell you these things, it's like, how do you like? What do you say after that? You just go, "That's amazing," or like, "It's amazing." I'm like, "Wow!" Like, grateful you came back, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it's like, how do you approach...
No, when he told me that, I literally just went, thank you for your service. Like,
yeah.
Like there's nothing else to say but, like, thank you.
Yeah.
Because there is no way of expressing how much gratitude you can give because of the actions he had to take to be where we are today.
Also, like, the things that, like, they had to do. Like, it's very jarring, too, like, to be like, I had to go to another place and kill people and then come back and I'm a hero. Yeah. Right? It's very like...
It's hard to wrap your head around the idea of like, I went to go kill people.
Yeah.
For my people to call me a hero.
Yeah. But it's like...
And like, if you think back to like old hero stories.
Yeah.
Like there's war heroes and then there's like those like superheroes, right?
Yeah.
And then when you're young and you're like a child, you think of those superheroes. You don't think of war heroes.
Yeah.
So it's really hard trying to grasp, can I even call myself a hero when the heroes I grew up with refuse to kill?
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's just like, oh, it's this whole thing.
Yeah, it's this whole thing of like, also like, I can't imagine like the first couple of years back because like you went from like being in a war for about 4 years, right? Mm-hmm. Every day in combat. Also like the guy we know, he ended up becoming a security guard.
Yeah.
For like a higher government official, right?
Yeah.
So he went from being a soldier to a security guard, having to travel all around the world with this guy being his security detail. In which case, it's more like I went from being like this soldier to now watching this guy's back night and day.
Night and day,
like it's one.
And it's crazy because like he has insight on like protocols that they have to take.
Yeah.
And then like we're watching the news or something,
Yeah.
and it has to do with like the significant person.
Yeah.
And it's just like right now they're doing this, and then you instantly see like this one guy like lift up his shirt and talk into like a microphone or something, and it's just like, man, he's playing the calls in his mind right now.
Like all of these things he had to live. Like I can't imagine. Like also like imagine like the conversations like he got to hear.
Oh yeah,
like,
and sitting
right after the Second World War ended, the UN kind of formed, right?
Yeah,
and they had all these conferences, right? And he said that he was
there for a
lot of them, right?
Yeah.
So like imagine like when they declared like peace on Earth. Or like they attempted to declare peace on Earth. Like being in that room must have been like
so you're sweating.
Yeah, like, like on a flip of a hat, all of this could go out the window. And then like right after that, the Cold War started.
I know.
So it was like we attempted something and then it just got worse.
Yeah.
Because we were all gonna we're all gonna die with the nukes.
Yeah.
Which is even worse than what it like. There's just so much stuff that happened in history that we kind of like, especially being Canadian. I think. Like, it gives us this, like, sense of pride. Also, because in almost every war we've ever partaken in, we've been the group to show up.
And, like, give a helping hand.
Yeah. Or here, we got you.
It's just like, we got a fleet for you. Here. Come on. Take it.
Yeah.
We want to help you.
Yeah. We've always done that. And I don't know if it's, like, our nature as being, like, nice people.
Yeah.
But, like, it's been one of those things where, like, we show up and we always, we do our part. Mm-hmm. I mean, in the sense of like, not that I physically did my part, but like other people from this nation did their part, right? And like we're living off of that now. Like, thankful for all those sacrifices that had to be done in order for us to
approach peace.
Well, yeah, but also to live the life we live, right? Because not only did that, Canada is one of the only countries on Earth that there's not a single country that wants to go to war with us.
Yeah,
I mean, maybe China on a bad day.
Maybe on a bad day, but like. Even then, they're not gonna like for like a small thing. They're not gonna be like war.
Yeah, everybody else is like we're okay. Like
and we're trying, and like we barely have to try and maintain it because we're so nice.
Oh yeah, and that's the other thing too. Like you go to Europe. Yeah. And everybody's like, oh, you Canadian?
Yeah, it's just like, you're Canadian? Oh, we love
what's
your country.
Up?
Like,
yeah, what's up? Like, and the same thing too, like, if you go to, like, especially in certain parts in Asia, like, especially, like, the Philippines and places like that, when you talk about Canada with these people, they're like, Canada sounds like this, like, utopia. Because, like, countries there are, like, super corrupt and, like, they go through a lot of, like, day-to-day struggle. Yeah. And then you tell them, oh, yeah, like, and like, oh yeah, or like like they come to Canada and it's like total different ballpark.
We have like a whole system.
Yeah. Well, like the thing too is like, it's not that we have a whole system. It's more like the system isn't, the way it was developed was to help everybody achieve success. Sure, there are different levels of success. Yeah. But it's more or less like a lot, like you still need to put in your part.
No, of course.
Like it's not gonna fall in your hands kind of
like,
success.
It's not like just an automatic system. Yeah. It's not that. Yeah. But it's a working system where if they do their part and you do your part, everything will work out.
Exactly, yeah. And like the other thing too is like when I tell people, like free healthcare, can't, and they go, what's that like? Yeah. Like any American instantly goes, what's that like? I'm like, what do you mean, what's that like?
You just show up, I broke my thumb, and they're like, okay, we'll fix it.
We'll snap that back into place for you.
Okay, go home.
Yeah. But it's more like... But, like, I think it depends on, like, what it is, too. Like, 'cause if you have, like, a fever, like, and they check you and they're like, oh, he just got, like, a cold, like, they'll make you wait, like, a couple of hours. Yeah. But, like, if you're, like, showing, like you're bleeding out kind of thing, they'll be like, oh, we got you.
Like I got a flesh wound in my right thigh and my left shoulder, and, like...
It's, like, the same thing with, like, well, that's the thing, right? Like, I remember this one time, I had this, like, heavy thing fall on me. Yeah. And, like, the biggest concern was if I had a concussion. Yeah. Right? So, like, every couple of, like... I think we were there for, like, 3-4 hours. Yeah. But, like, every little bit, a nurse would walk by and, like, ask me questions.
To make sure nothing was foggy.
I didn't have any foggy memories, stuff like that. But, like, that was I was like 8 or 9 years old when that happened. Yeah. So, like, it wasn't, like... Maybe I lost something, but whatever it was like 2. Like,
yeah,
it's not
exactly.
really a memory. Right?
It's barely a memory.
It's more like a dream. It's like a lucid dream. Anyway, but yeah, that was the kind of thing, right? Like where they show up and they ask you these sorts of questions and like kind of hope for the best sort of thing. Yeah. Which I think is interesting, but And then later on, like, you know, they checked my face because like my face is all bruised up. And then the doctor was like, okay, so this is what's going to happen. He's like, the bruise is going to like sit on the side of your face for like at least a week. He's like, it's going to look really bad. And then he's like, the worst part will happen. I'm like, what? He's like, because it's on the upper layer of your skin, gravity's just going to start pulling it down.
Oh, man.
And I was like, what? He's like, yeah, so gravity's going to do his part and you just
let it happen.
Just let it happen. Like, it'll happen. He's like, if it gets really painful, he's like, then I suggest like you take Tylenol or something, you know, like to like ease the pain. He's like, because once it gets to your neck, it's gonna hurt to just like look around. Yeah. He's like, if you look too far to your left, it's gonna hurt.
It's gonna be like, ah.
So then I had to go to school and explain this to my teacher while like half of my face looked like I had like
it's just like, did you get like
I got
beat or
severely
something?
beat up with like a bat.
Yeah. See, like, and then like your teachers are just like, can I talk to your parents?
Well, no, like our dad wrote like a note and stuff anyway. But it was funny because like, so I went to school and then like a week later, sure enough, it got to my neck.
Yeah.
And I think like it disappeared somewhere around my shoulder. Like it went away.
Yeah.
But like trying to tell us that people were like, I've never heard of bruises moving.
Yeah.
I'm like,
it's a shifting bruise.
Well, yeah. Well, the other thing too is like it's because it's like it was so big. Like it was like imagine half of your face just like
a bruise.
Just a bruise. Like it wasn't like swollen. It was just like bruised.
A purple bruise that just shifted.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Well, no, like it just slowly.
It just slowly shifted downward.
Yeah. It took something like almost a month to go away completely. Like, but then it went away and it was great and we were fine. Then I went to like our normal like family doctor and she was like, yeah, you're good. You're okay.
Congrats.
You're fine. We move on.
Yeah.
And then I never went to see her again. But
until like a few years ago.
Yeah, well, it was actually kind of funny because I think it was like around 12 the last time I saw her. And then I came back at like 21. And like, she's like, you left like a preteen, came back a fully grown man. What happened? And then I'm like, I kept growing.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, no, but I think it's good that like you never felt the need.
Yeah. Because it means you're healthy.
No, I know, but even though technically it's supposed to be like a yearly physical, but like, I mean, the fact that she's like, you never like felt the need to like show up and be like, hey, I'm not feeling well.
I mean, at least you're not at that age where you need to get a rectal exam.
Okay, yeah, that's get in that. But like, it's more like in my case, also because like I have asthma.
Yeah.
So like, when I was little, we used to go all the time because like, you know, asthma related things and like, you know, always having to get the puffers and like this and that. Now it's like automatic. Like you call and they'll like write the prescription for you. They send it to the pharmacy. You just go pick it up.
Yeah.
Like it's really nice. But other than that, it's more like I have to like having to explain like, yeah, like I have this, but like it's not plaguing me. Like it's not
it's not affecting me as much as like other. It might be affecting others.
Well, also because like when I was in school, right, I had to do gym class, so like I was constantly put in a state of like having to have my puffers on me, as opposed to now where like I don't really go anywhere
because you can't.
Exactly. So I haven't had like an asthma attack in like 3-4 years now. Yeah. Because I haven't had to like exert myself in a way where like it would trigger it. And sure, if I get sick, it also triggers my asthma. Yeah. But I haven't gotten sick in like well over 2 years now.
I haven't gotten like sick in like almost 2 years.
Right? Yeah.
Because like as soon as COVID struck, my family was just like, okay.
Your family? So, you mean me?
Our family, us. You know, we.
Thank you.
You know, we decided, okay, we're gonna go buy vitamin C. We're gonna go buy zinc. Yeah. We're gonna go buy a bunch of other stuff. Yeah. To help boost the immune system.
Yeah. And then Purell everything.
And then Purell everything. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, it's just like sickness also, did not exist.
Lysol wipe out. Like the only thing that affects us now is like allergies. Yeah. Because like there's like a lot of pollen and stuff. But other than that,
I mean, I don't really get allergies.
Oh, you don't have that, but I do. Yeah. Yeah. It's back to like because the asthma thing again, but. It's really interesting how they like, you know, we have these different levels of stuff, right? And I think it's interesting how I don't know how we got here. How did we get here?
How did we go from Kevin Feige to war to allergies?
I don't remember.
Like, what is wrong with us?
I don't know.
This is a real conversation.
It's everywhere.
This is the conversation you walk in on. You know, like like you're sitting at some like
you show up like it's like when you first you know when you get to school and your friends are already talking. Yeah, this is the
kind of conversation you jumped into.
You jumped into it.
Why are you guys talking about allergies? Why not?
I'll never forget this one time. I was in like elementary school and I walked in on a conversation. Yeah, and they're talking about their belly button. I'm like, what?
What?
Like, I heard it.
Are you an innie or an outie? Like that's literally the conversation.
That's literally all I got. And I was like, what is going on? And they're like, we're talking about belly buttons. I'm like, who in the world cares?
Like,
and then we have that friend who has a friend who doesn't have one.
Yeah.
Which is...
It's just sealed.
Yeah.
It's just nice and flush.
Because when she was little, like, it got infected.
Yeah.
And so they had to, like... stitch it up in a way, like, and when they stitched it up, it like healed and it just disappeared.
Yeah.
So she just like her skin like grew right over it. So she doesn't have one.
It's just
flat.
It's just flat.
Like
it's like you look at your forearm.
Yeah.
And like the back of, and like the front of it.
Yeah.
When your palm's facing you, it was that smooth.
Yeah.
It's just that clean.
There's nothing
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like when she showed us, it was just like
it was just like you abnormality.
I was like, is this even? I'm like, what? You test tube baby? Like, how did this? Like, how did this happen? Like, how does this? This isn't normal.
How are we eliminating the belly button?
We're now at a point now where we can eliminate things, which is great. But at the same time, I don't know.
I mean, like in a way, it's good, and it goes into a lot of ethics.
I mean, yeah. But like in that,
it's like designer babies.
Yeah, I mean,
that's a whole thing.
We're not
that's
getting
like
into that. We're not getting into that. Yeah. But what we're talking about right now is like, you know, like the reason why she had that happen was because, you know, like she had like an actual issue.
Yeah,
and they fixed it.
There was reason,
and then
it wasn't because they chose.
Yeah, and you know, and then it was like they overfixed it. So like
they did so good of a job. It's flush.
It's so good of a job. It's gone.
It's gone.
Like you never know it was there.
I mean, technically, your belly button is a sign of birth.
I mean, yes.
It's your wound.
It's your wound.
It's your wound of being born. Everyone has one, except for one. I mean, there's probably other people.
Of course, yeah.
That the situations happen because otherwise they wouldn't have known what to do.
Yeah.
Or some guy at the spur in the moment was like, I figured it out.
No, we're just gonna cut right here, and then we'll just sew it all up. Be fine.
It'll be fine.
We'll be great.
Yeah.
We'll move on.
Yeah.
But I think it's interesting how like the
it's just like how do you look at yourself in the mirror and go, well, because it's always been you, right? So you think nothing of it.
Yeah, until you look at other people.
Until you look at other people and you're like, huh, they got a hole in their stomach.
No, like you know, like when you I think the most telling point would be like when they go swimming.
Yeah, and they're like at the beach.
You can see everyone's like midriff, so it's like oh, everybody got one of these, but I'm like imagine growing up as a kid, like you never had one, so like you always feel left out.
I mean, like you won't feel left out because like there's no significant purpose.
No, imagine if they're that person who showed up to my conversation. They're like, "Yo, talk about belly buttons," and then they jump into the conversation. And you're like, "I actually don't have one." They go, "What?"
See that just escalates the conversation.
I mean, I guess, but also like now, like you're an alien.
Exactly. Like, who are you?
You're not of this earth.
You're not of this earth. You don't have the wound of birth.
The wound of birth.
That's what I'm calling it now.
The wound of birth.
Do you have a wound of birth inside or outside? And they're gonna be like, what?
They're like, how would I have one inside?
I don't know. Maybe
you can only get fatally wounded inside.
I don't know. It's called internal bleeding.
But that's different.
It's really dangerous.
It's because you broke a bone and like it's like stabbing something else.
Yeah.
It's like your ribs, you know?
Yeah. It's like how your rib can puncture your lung.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like death by own bones.
You got squeezing out where like it just crush yourself.
I'm crushing myself.
Which is interesting because your rib cage is actually there to protect
your rib cage, but it can easily kill you.
Your rib cage is like a double-edged sword. It's there to protect you.
But if you just curve it inward, you're impaling yourself to the point of death.
Exactly. Which is interesting because I didn't know that like your ribs can move.
Yeah.
Like depending on like which way you like shift and stuff.
I mean, like, have you never like done a crunch or a sit up before?
Yeah. But like no,
like, no, I'm trying to your logic right now because it's interesting. No, it's not.
The only reason I knew about it is just because I had a friend who they would like move on their own and like they would like twist and turn in a way and it was really painful.
Yeah.
And I had never heard of this before. Literally after she told me this, I literally came home and started Googling this. I was like,
"You're like, what is this?"
I'm like, "This is like an actual thing that people go through." I had no idea. I was like, "Whoa!" I was like, "I'm like, thank God I'm normal," but like, it was like crazy. I'm like, "Well, my own body tries to hurt me."
Yeah, I know.
Like
it's like I don't even know how to explain that. Like,
yeah, and
because it's not something you just experience.
Oh yeah,
you know, on a daily basis.
Yeah,
but this person was like, you know, my ribcage shifts.
It's like one day we were talking. She's like, "Yeah, I'm not feeling so." I'm like, "You okay?" She's like, "Yeah, my ribs are attacking me." I'm like, "Your ribs are attacking you?" She goes, "You don't know." I'm like, I don't know what." And then she explained it to me, and I was
I
like,
thought it was common knowledge.
no, because I'm sure she thought we had that conversation before, because like we've known each other for a very long time.
Yeah.
And then the conversation happened in that moment, and I was not prepared for it.
You were just like,
So we're just like,
so your ribs like are contortionists by themselves.
No, so we're just hanging out, and then she starts explaining this to me, and then like I'm like, oh, okay, so
I don't know how to deal with
So you're trying to tell me that your body
likes to attack you.
So it's like an autoimmune thing.
Yeah.
But it's not exactly the same thing. I mean, because this is like a bone related.
I mean,
thing.
autoimmune deficiencies would be like would be like your body doesn't have enough like defense.
Yeah.
And then the outside world's kind of attacking you.
Yeah.
But like,
what's the one where like when your body attacks itself? There's a word for that. You know, where
it's give me a second. My brain's rolling through like you know like the episode of SpongeBob where like the file just goes out and like he's like scrolling through it like his mind and it's a bunch of SpongeBob. Yeah. That's literally what happened in my mind just now. It's like yeah. And now I'm searching.
I can't remember what it's called. Anyway, if it comes to you, let me know. But like those are like the kinds of things where like, oh yeah, your body's like attacking this for like no reason.
Yeah.
It's like how a lot of people have this where like certain organs will be attacked by their white blood cells. Yeah. For no reason. So it's like
because the body will think it's like something. Yeah. That has an issue.
Well, it's also like when like in my case, like when we get a.
I know this term.
Well, no, it's like when we get a migraine, you know, and we get a fever because the body thinks I'm being attacked.
I gotta burn it out of me.
Yeah, because I'm going through this immense pain. Yeah. Something has to give. So like the body heats up, and it's like.
Well, no. First, your body's just like maybe has something to do with your vision, so it blurs your vision. Yeah. And you're like, what's going on?
Well,
and then
that's the body like rebooting itself. Yeah. It's like blurred the vision. Then it's like maybe it's my ears intensifies hearing, and then all of a sudden you start burning up, and then all of a sudden light gets brighter, and you're like, oh my gosh. Yeah, even smells sometimes like
smell gets stronger. Everything, all your senses. All of a sudden,
get 100.
All of a sudden, your senses go to like almost zero. Yeah, and like you can barely hear what people are saying. Yeah, and then all of a sudden, it's like somebody turned all your senses on maximum. Yeah, and I always think to myself, is this what it's like for a dog? Just like always like on.
Imagine Superman, poor guy.
I know he had to like learn to like not
hear.
That's so weird.
And he learned not to listen to people.
Learn to not listen to people.
But learn to not listen to the world.
Also, I want to learn how to like boost it. You know, like that'd just be cool. Like to know how to control.
And you just learn to ignore everything.
I know.
You gotta filter out all the noise and just focus on the person in front of you.
It's so annoying. I always have to be thinking about it. I mean, after practice, eventually it just becomes second nature.
Yeah, of course.
Because like right now, like I can hear like 3 different things. Yeah. Like, I can hear the wood crackling, I can hear my sister in the distance, and I can hear outside.
Yeah, and the water dripping.
And the water dripping.
In the bathroom, like, down the
Yeah, okay, they don't care.
Like, that's, like, because we left the door. But it's one of those, like, things where I think, yeah, it's interesting, but the body burning up because it's like, oh, I gotta do something.
I know. I'm like, it's in the middle of winter, you don't want to heat me up, and then all of a sudden now you're trying to kill me.
No, it's more like the body trying to figure out what on earth is going on. Yeah. And then
but also being too hot is unhealthy.
Oh yeah.
Because like you can pass out. Oh yeah. And your body can start suffering of damages. Yeah. Yeah. It's like nothing over like 40. Nothing over 40 because then you can have serious issues.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. I think we should wrap up.
Wrap up at fever. Yeah. Okay, guys, this has been Two Latin Brothers Podcast. Everything's always in the description, whether it be up, down, left, or right. Make sure to share with your grandma, share with your rooster, share with your donkey, share with, I don't know, your chinchilla. I don't know. Go for it. If you have a hamster or a guinea pig, just put it on your phone, put it off to the side. Maybe it can be a good lullaby for them to sleep in.
That's weird.
I don't know.
It's kind of sketchy.
A little bit. It's not like they really know what's going on anyways.
I don't know what he's giving this.
Anyways. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Make sure to check last week's episode if you haven't already. And yeah, peace.
Bye.